Hello everyone, this video will cover Module 5. This module will move on to our next major essay assignment. You will be writing a cause and effect essay. So this module will be about just kind of learning a little bit more about cause and effect and getting into the assignment. As with the narrative essay, we will have multiple modules where we work on this, so you'll get a chance to do some pre-writing and brainstorming and go through the whole process before actually writing the essay. So you do not have an essay in this module. You can see that the main thing we're doing is learning more about cause and effect. And so you'll have readings about cause and effect, and then you have a readings quiz, just like you did with narration. You'll see that as we go through the semester, the modules will start to feel similar. They're kind of put together in a similar way. So we kind of go through the same sort of steps as we go through the semester. So read about it and then take the quiz, and then you'll get into the assignment itself, and then you'll do a free write and outline just like you did with the narration essay. So cause and effect assignment. So this essay is asking you to explore the relationship between causes and effects. So you will use your personal experience for this assignment. Again, you're thinking of kind of a time in your life or a memorable incident in your life or something like that, similar to what you did for the narrative essay. However, you're going to be thinking about something that is more of a cause and effect relationship. So you can't use the same topic that you did for the narrative essay. Instead of telling us the story, you're going to be exploring those causes and effects. So you have four choices here. You can write about a time when you saw a movie, a book, or play, a musical or a television show that had a significant or memorable impact on your life. So you're going to explore the book, the plot of the movie or book, and then kind of discuss that effect on you. You can write about an education-related experience, so sometime when you did something in a classroom or maybe with an extracurricular type activity and you had an interaction with and learned something, so that education part of the experience. And so you write about the effect on you. You can write about an experience of civility or incivility. So this might be an incident when you experienced or saw something that was either positive or negative, and then write about the effect on you. Or you can write about a lifestyle choice that you've made, something positive or negative. So that might be, that you made a healthy choice and healthy change, started exercising or something like that. Or maybe the opposite, and you started doing something or did, hopefully not started doing something illegal, but did something illegal. And so you made a negative choice, and how that impacted you and how that affected you. So the cause and effect relationship is really about showing what we call the causal chain. That is something that happened, and then it causes this thing to happen, and then this thing to happen, and this thing to happen. So we see that kind of down the line how those things are linked to each other. So you want to be picking a topic that can really show that. It needs to be as specific as possible. You don't want something real vague, like, I don't know, I started eating healthier. What specifically did you do to start eating healthier would be the question. So let's isolate, let's get it down. Maybe you cut sugar out of your diet, or you stop drinking soda or something like that. That's a little bit more specific than just eating healthier, right? So we want to make sure that you're as specific as possible so you can see directly that cause and effect relationship. So the topic needs to be a specific effect of an experience on you, and it needs to fit, within one of those topic choices. Your introduction paragraph starts with a hook, and then you'll have your thesis statement. The thesis connects the causes and effects and explains the impact of the experience, assesses it on the impact of the experience on the writer. And then you'll want to make sure that you include lots of details. Instead of telling the story like we did for the previous essay, you're going to focus on the causes and effects. And so those transitions are going to be, instead of first this happened, then this happened, then this happened, it's going to be the first reason why I did this was, and then the first effect that I felt was, and that kind of thing. So you're going to use the transition words to help us see that cause and effect. You want to make sure that you're kind of going in order, though. Typically, we cover causes first and then effects. You may decide that your entire essay is just going to be effects or just going to be causes, and that's fine. In that case, we'll have a little bit of, what happened as a result as you go through. But you want to make sure that you're kind of explaining that with those types of terms. You want to make sure that your conclusion wraps everything up, and then that you have that first person use of first person pronouns in the essay as you go through, because it is your own personal experience. Do not address the reader as you, and do not refer yourself in the third person, because it gets weird and then you don't know what it's confusing. So you want to make sure that you're very specific with the pronoun uses, and use I throughout. 2 to 5 pages, so we're looking at an essay similar length to the previous essay, and you're going to use your own personal experience rather than sources here. So I don't want you doing a bunch of research on what the effects should be of your choice. I want to see what you felt the effects were. So for example, like I just started, about 2 years ago, I started running. Right. So that is something that I made, personal choice, and I can talk about, what do these articles say should be the effects on your life on running, but that may not be what I felt. And so what I felt is what I should discuss in my essay. I have a bunch of resources and examples here. There's some sample student essays. There's an example of kind of each, not quite each example, but there's a bunch of different examples, and you can just kind of see what other students have done with that. And then after you've gone through all that, then you're going to be just brainstorming for your own essay. So we've got some questions for you, just like we did for the narrative essay. You've got some prompts to think about. You don't have to write about all of them. You can just pick 1 or 2 and generate a free flow of writing. 10 minutes, just type, and then submit. Whatever it looks like is how you submit it. It does not need to make sense. It does not need to, it can be full of errors and misspellings. I just want to see, what did you type up in 10 minutes? How can you type, what are the thoughts in your head as you're going through that? Once you've done that, then you can muddle through those thoughts and see if you come up with something that actually could work for the essay. Then you're going to type out your thesis and a short list of at least 3 causes or effects. Be sure to label which was which. So cause number 1, or effect number 1 would be good. And then a little bit of supporting ideas or information. As many full, complete sentences and thoughts as possible. And then you'll submit that as your first post, and then your response post will be to 2 classmates, just adding to, commenting on, giving them some ideas, that kind of thing. As with the previous assignment, you can use an AI generator if you would like. Sometimes what they spit out is really good, and sometimes it's not at all. So you can just do that if you want, and then include that. Make sure you label which one is AI generated, and so that way when your peer comments, they can kind of look at, a little comparison there, what would work from each one, that kind of thing. So that is the module. We're just learning about cause and effect and getting ourselves prepared for this essay. Do not forget that you do have these grammar modules as we go through. They're going to kind of push down the line as more modules open up. So if you didn't do this module 4.5, you want to make sure you do that. They are not due till the end of the semester, but you don't want to be taking a bunch of quizzes that last week of the class. So I would go ahead and make sure that you do that. And the simple sentence, we've already gone through that. So as we go through, you're expected to, after this point, not have any fragments and run-ons in your essay, because you've learned about them, you've taken a quiz over them. You should be able to identify them now and make sure they're not in your essays in your writing. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, have a great week.